Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does the Amazon Relay load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? These are the relay rates for Monday, May 6th.
Let's get into those SoCal relay rates.
Alright, as always, gonna put chapters in this. Not gonna spend a ton of time looking at San Diego, but what time we do, I'm gonna look at recommended loads up front. We'll look at the top paying loads for 53, top paying loads for 26. We'll check on the block situation, take a look at spot capacity, but the main purpose for today is checking out Tampa, Florida for HCH play. They were last time's winners, so that's where we're gonna spend the bulk of the time. Only thing I need to do is pull over up here and we'll knock this thing out. All right, let's get into this. Recommended loads. What is Amazon recommending to me today? I do have early access. This comment right here, congratulations, you unlocked early access. So in theory, if there's any good loads on there right now, we should be seeing them. Recommended DSD 4 to San 3, 4 stops, 241 a mile. Starts a little bit after midnight tonight. Not really interested in 241 a mile. Here's another almost duplicate load, 237 a mile. Big trip, heading over to Texas. That little unlock symbol there means that it is early access is required for that. 208 a mile, doesn't really have me excited though. San Diego ending up in Glendale, Arizona, 235 a mile, 825 payout. San Diego, 2,454 miles, ending up in, so one pick, one stop, ending up in Florida for $2 a mile. Go across the whole country for $4,900. Here's one going to Denver, 235 a mile. If I were in Chino right now, early access, $211 payout, 331 a mile, starting in Chino, going over to DAX5, which is in La Puente, and then ending up at Fontana. So taking that little filled in circle means you're taking a loaded trailer from Chino to La Puente, and then the non-filled in circle there, that means you're taking an empty over to Fontana. Another locked load going, or unlocked load going from Chino to Rialto. Let's see if there's any 26s on here. These are all 53, 53, 53. Yeah, no 26s. Let's just take a look at my local load board here. I like to do OTI power only. This is everything coming out of OTI. So probably one of the most important things I look at, let's turn this auto refresh off, 67 loads on the board. That's a good sign. The question is, what are they paying for them? So price per distance highest. So top money on the board right now is a Poway one ending up in Rialto for $376. This starts at 6:38, so in about 30 minutes from now. Let's see, they've got you going from Poway, empty trailer to Riverside, from Riverside to SNA4, that's a loaded trailer, and then from SNA4 over to LGB7, taking an empty. So decent payout. Here's another one, Poway, 4 stops, or 4 total stops, ending in San Bernardino, 376. Another one, so the fact that there's these first 3 all end at 6:38, I mean, and they're all coming out of Poway. Let's just see if this one's an empty trailer. Yeah, an empty trailer. That tells me that Poway probably has too many trailers, DSD8, and they're probably looking to get rid of them. And then that falls off to 316 a mile, 218 a mile, 280. So I mean, those are kind of like the top loads right here, right now in San Diego. Let's do the same thing for box trucks. So 67 loads on the board for 53-foot equipment. Let's see, SD box truck has 153. Now the difference, you see that big change in number there, the difference is like there's probably very little 53 stuff that's on the board more than like 3 days out. Some of these 26-foot things, they get posted like 7-10 days out. So let's just do the same thing. Price per distance highest. I mean, here's great rate per mile. I'm not sure if 4 stops would justify it, but 491 a mile, 197 leaving on Thursday, 120 in the morning, ending a few hours later. Let's see where they have you going. Starting down at San 5, I'm positive that address, I'm willing to bet these are all post office locations, but I'm positive that that 401 West Lexington is a post office. That's in my hometown at El Cajon. Shooting back down to San Diego, over to San Diego. Let's see, that was Thursday at 120. Here's Wednesday at 120. Let's see if this is the same trip. A lot of times they do this. So it's San 5. No, this one goes up to Claremont, actually. Claremont Drive in San Diego to another one in San Diego. didn't miss a, oh, that one's only 3 stops. So, I mean, if given the choice of these two, is 20 cents a mile, does that justify taking that additional 4th stop compared to 3? I don't know. I've never operated a box truck, but, you know, I would pick 3 stops over 4 any day. So there's that. 461 going up to Escondido, 448 starting at San 5, ending in San Diego, 442, 2 stops. So this would be one that, you know, if I did a box truck, I might be interested in. 1 pick, 1 stop. Can't go wrong with those. Starting at San 5, ending up in Carlsbad. I'm willing to bet that 1700 Aviera Parkway is a post office. I parked under a eucalyptus tree and I have flowers falling down on me. So it's not snowing in San Diego, I promise. So that's pretty much box trucks. I mean, there's a bunch of these on here, $4 a mile. There's a whole bunch of stuff. The thing about box trucks, and I don't claim to know anything about them, I include them because people ask. It seems to me that in order to be successful with this, you'd have to plan these out like days in advance and kind of try to string together a day that way. But that's enough about box trucks. Let's take a look at blocks, SoCal blocks. First 2 months of 2024, there wasn't a single one of these on here. Now there are 26. They're all leaving out of Ontario. Ontario, this looks like the same load over and over again. The difference here is like this 400, like compare these two. This $408 one, that's a 13-hour block. This $985 one, that's a 1-day 13-hour block. That just means that rather than 1 day of driving, which is going to be the $408, you're going to get 2 days of driving. Every mile they ask you to drive, they're going to pay you 48.5 cents a mile to account for mileage. I'll put a link in this video. I've done a thing. If you want more information on blocks and exactly how they work, I made a short, a 60-second or less video on the breakdown of blocks. But the fact that there's 26 is a good sign. Let's look at that spot capacity. Let's see here, spot capacity. So, and I've been seeing, this is kind of, well, these are kind of a mixed bag. There was a day the other day where I got a bunch of 26. Let's just look at the top ones. I got this one at 1:32 in the morning. This was a 26-foot box truck going out of ONT1 heading to Bakersfield with a stop. I can't remember if ONT1 is Jurupa Valley. Well, it must be starting at ONT1 going to Jurupa Valley, Bakersfield, because it says on here 1 pick, 2 drops. 160 miles, $600. This is your one and only time to negotiate a better rate with Amazon. You respond back to that with $700-800, get somebody on the phone, hopefully negotiate a higher rate for that. But unlike the load board where you just kind of take it as it is, this is your one and only shot to get a better rate from them. Yesterday, 53-foot container, Los Angeles going to Visalia, 1 pick, 2 drops, 192.84 miles. Their starting price was $586. 53-foot out of Chino yesterday. They needed Chino going to Eastvale, 106.88 miles, and they say on here price is negotiable, so I like that. Let's see, also yesterday, DLX5 ending up in Santa Ana, California, 65.8 miles, $270. Let's just see. So all this stuff comes out of that spot capacity, email address. If you want to make this a VIP on your phone, do it. This ROC-brokerage@amazon.com. They started sending out Shuttle Hostler requests from a different email address. That email address is Amazon Brokerage Shuttles. That is the ROC-brokerage-shuttles@amazon.com. You might want to make both of them a VIP if you're interested in these. This was 5:50 p.m. God, this came over on my drive down here. This was, they needed somebody at DJW8. $65 an hour though is I kind of have a problem with that. I'm not going to go into all that now, but I made a video once before as far as like, you know, if they want to pay $650 for 10 hours of my time and you gave me those same 10 hours on the load board, I could do better on the load board. So, you know, if that's what they're paying for shuttles now, that's what they're paying for shuttles now. But yeah, they've paid, they used to pay like 100 for these. So for 100 I'm interested. For 65 I'm not. LGB8, 6.5 hours needed. They claim they need 4 drivers at $70 an hour. And then 224 SCA7 is here where I'm at. That's down that one of the newer locations here in town. They needed 1 driver, 5 hours, $65 an hour. So Those are shuttles. Let's do what we came to do, which is look at Tampa, Florida for HCH play. Let's go back over here to the load board, switch this around. Let me do the 53 first. If you want your name to be in the running for one of these lists, let me know in the comments. Say, I want to see this city in long format. I want to see it on relay rates. Please don't leave me a message that says 26-foot San Diego, because I'm going to think you want a load board, and that's what I'm going to make for you. But let's just throw in here Tampa, Florida. And it's going to default to Tampa and San Diego. They just started doing this and it drives me crazy. I just want to see Tampa, Florida. So first things first, 75 miles within Tampa, Florida, there are 48 results. Let's scale that down a little bit and look at 50. There's 19 results. Let's scale that up and look at 100 miles. There's 66 results. So I feel kind of like 75 is a happy medium. 47 results. Let's look at these top loads on the board. Price per distance highest. Top money right now out of Tampa, $7.34 a mile. I know it sounds great, but it's only for about 27 miles, $197 payout. That is going from Temple Terrace, TPA4. So this is just like a little round trip, going from TPA4 to SFL7, and then bringing the empty trailer back to SFL7. That is Wednesday at 1:30 in the morning, so a couple days out. It's decent money for a couple days out. Here's a Auburndale, one pick, three stops for a total of 4. This goes from TPA3 to Lakeland, Florida, KLAL, to DFL7, and then back to TPA3. 457 a mile. Another one, 425 a mile. TPA4. The thing I like to look at, I'm not familiar with Tampa at all, is like where these sites are. So this TPA4 is coming up a bunch. It looks like they're at 8727 Harney Road in Temple Terrace, Florida. That is, let's see, so you pick it up at TPA4, a loaded trailer, taking that to DTP3, and then returning an empty trailer back to TPA4. So I just kind of like to see who the big players are in town. It looks like this TPA4, TPA3, TPA4 again, TPA1. Let's see where that TPA1 is at. That's a 3350 Laurel Ridge Avenue, Ruskin, Florida. That is, let's see, one pick, 2 stops. Oh, I got the black box. I always screw up. Let me refresh this to get rid of that black box. What was that one? TPA1? Yeah, I think it was this one. 357 a mile, 214 payout, starting at Laurel Ridge Avenue at TPA1, taking that over to DFM5 in Sarasota, and then returning back to TPA1. Let's say your thing isn't little trips. Let's say you want to do a big trip. All right, let's look at, let's see, distance longest. Biggest trip coming out of Florida is starting Union City. Is that going to be Georgia? Yep, Union City, Georgia. So this one is starting at SFL4 in Seffner, Florida, taking a loaded trailer to Somerset, New Jersey. From Somerset, New Jersey, going to SDC1, which is in Springfield, Virginia, and then from there bringing a loaded trailer down to HGA6, which is in Union City, Georgia. That is a long trip. It's 1,982 miles at $1.41 a mile for a payout of $2,790. Here's Lakeland ending in Florida, 4 total stops, $1.33 a mile. Davenport to Stone Mountain where? Stone Mountain, Georgia. Got you going up to like, it looks like on this little map, like Indianapolis in there, going from MCO5 to SDF6 to IND9, and then back to ATL2. That trip is going to pay out at $142 a mile. So those are kind of small local runs, big trips. I have found personally, this is just my opinion, I think the money in Amazon is doing these short little runs back and forth. I feel like the OTR loads don't pay as well as those do. It's just a matter of stringing them together. How many can you string together in a day? That's the 53. Let's look at the 26, or the box trucks. So we'll take out power only, we'll put in box trucks, all box trucks, 26 and 16 foot. Apply that. This is interesting. So within 50 miles of Tampa, there's only one load on there, and it's in Orlando, which is 71.75 miles away. So if we reduce this down to 50, there should be 0. Yep, there are no matches. So I could be looking at a bad time. I chose to do this at 6:21 in the evening. There might be more loads later on, but I mean, I find it ironic that within 75 miles, there's just one load on the board. Let's increase that to 100. Now there's two. Orlando going to, these are box trucks, right? Yep. Ending up in Hagerstown, Maryland. I always hate when I get to places I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. I'm going to call it Hagerstown, Maryland. Starting down in Orlando, Florida, going to Tampa, going to Miami, and then ending up in Hagerstown, Maryland. 26-foot box truck that pays out at $1.19 a mile for a payout of $1,726. The next one is 85.88 miles away, going from, I can tell you 100% this is a third-party site, SWAUS 9152, It is going to be out of Ocala, Florida, taking that over to Davenport, then to another site in Davenport, and then finally to, it looks like this just all ends up in Davenport. So third-party site, $2.13 a mile, $3.42 payout. That doesn't start until Saturday, May 11th. So we're a good 5 days away from that. Let's just see. I mean, we're getting into like an unrealistic radius here, but let's just say 150 miles from Tampa. Now you're seeing 21 results. Let's just sort this by deadhead shortest to kind of cut through the ones we already saw. Deadhead shortest. So we saw those two. Fort Myers is like the next stop. So if you're in Tampa, you got a box truck, it looks like you're driving about 110 miles to get to any decent loads as far as what they show right now, and it looks like they're all out of Fort Myers. And Fort Myers is, you know, 227 a mile, 244 a mile, 220 a mile, 242. Here's a 301. Let's just see where the 301 is going. Starting in Fort Myers, picking up at RSW5, heading over to Venice, Florida, and then ending up in Sarasota, Florida. So that's 301 a mile, 263. You got a deadhead there, 110 miles, to then get paid for the drive of 87.6 miles. So not sure that would be worth it. But yeah, it looks like Fort Myers, as far as the box truck market, that's going to be about where you're going to be driving to see any, I don't want to say they're decent paying loads, but to see a decent amount of loads. So keep that in mind. HCH play, this video was for you. Let's pick next time's winner. Let's see here, I got a thing here, a spreadsheet. Let's get rid of HCH play. If I can figure out how to use my phone. Delete. That leaves me with 9 options. Again, you want to see your name on this list, just let me know in the comments. Just make it easy for me here. Let's go to a random number generator. I need a number between 1 and 9. 1 it is. Who is number 1? Number 1 is Wash for Phoenix. Wash is going to be the official winner, but there's some people in here who might benefit from this. Ariel Rodriguez also requested Phoenix, so kind of winning through default there. And I thought there was another one in Arizona. I had Dallas, Paris. No, I guess that's it. So Wash, you're the winner, but Ariel Rodriguez, you are going to benefit from that good luck. What am I working on today? I'm keeping an eye on stuff. These rates they're showing me are kind of and you know, if they put something on there to woo me out of my house, I'm down to go do it. Otherwise, I see there is a 3-hour and 4-minute roast of Tom Brady on Netflix that I'm going to be checking out later.
Would you like a massage?